progress here going forward. So happy to have Ryan Frankel join us. A little bit about why we are doing this, I think is important. When we, obviously at KMRD, when we talk about risk management, it's not just the insurance component to it, but it's also behavior. It's also having and living a safer experience, if you will. And that doesn't go just for, sort of the ins and outs. It's the actual activities that you undertake every day that you put yourself at risk. And so one of the things that we encountered was Ryan's app, and I'm not going to steal any of his thunder because frankly, I can't. But this app saves lives is what we're going to talk about today. And we really felt like this was a device and a process that will help improve people's driving experience. And I know, and I'll just speak sort of off the cuff, that I know some people on this webinar who would benefit from improving their driving habits. And so I hope that the outcome for today is that you get that opportunity and that you see the value of this for yourself, for your employees, for your clients, for your family. And so I'm gonna throw this up here and say, I'm a user, and it's actually improved the way that I drive. And so what we're gonna do is I'm gonna introduce Ryan. He's gonna do a presentation. We've got some questions and answers. And as you go forward, if you've got questions after we get the sort of questions that I have for Ryan out, I'll go into the questions and answers section of the webinar and answer any additional questions that you might have, so that we get to as many as we can. So with that, I want to introduce Ryan Frankel, who is the founder and CEO of TASL, which is the acronym for This App Saves Lives. Ryan, it's all yours.
Kevin, thanks for the incredible introduction. It's very nice to be here today. Very appreciative of the opportunity to share our business with you in the context of, as Kevin mentioned, promoting safe driving, not just amongst yourselves and your family members, but certainly your colleagues, your employees, your customers, and everyone in between. And I think after today, hopefully you'll see the value in what we're building as a company. So I'm going to run through a very brief presentation, 5 to 10 minutes max, give you a helpful high-level overview of the business. I know Kevin has some questions for me, and I certainly hope everyone will jump in with some great questions as well at the end. You'll also find my contact information at the end of the presentation, where you can feel free to follow up with me directly if anything, we don't cover anything today. So with that, let me share my screen. Hopefully everyone can see my screen right now. Kevin, can you confirm you see my screen? Perfect. Great. Well, everyone, my name is Ryan Frankel, as Kevin mentioned, founder and CEO of a company called This App Saves Lives, or TASL for short. And I'm really excited today to share with you how we're using a unique combination of technology and rewards to make distracted driving a habit of the past. Before diving too far into the business, I'd like to first start with a little bit of a story. Several years ago, I was pretty badly injured and nearly killed when a driver ran a red light while sending a text message. I was out on a bike ride and was lucky to see the driver barreling towards me so I could avoid the direct collision with the car, but I ended up flipping over my handlebars, fracturing my hip, my elbow, and a number of other bones along the way, and spent the next several months bedridden, having a difficult time recovering. The driver in that instance drove off, probably not even realizing what had transpired. And so what started out as me kind of personally experiencing the pain point of distracted driving quickly morphed into the realization that distracted driving, i.e., what we all do on our phones each time we get behind the wheel, causes about 2 million accidents, 500,000 injuries, and thousands of deaths every single year, and that's just in the US alone. It's also very costly. In fact, distracted driving costs $125 billion annually in the form of insurance payouts, damages, lost productivity, and other associated costs. And so we've built Tassel, where this app saves lives, to put an end to such a dangerous and addictive behavior. So here's how it works. Drivers download a free mobile app. Our technology runs in the background each time a driver gets behind the wheel to drive, and we issue rewards points based upon the time spent driving undistracted. Things like hands-free calls, using your navigation, streaming your favorite music or podcast are absolutely fine. But the second you go down to really meaningfully interact with your phone, to check the web, to browse your email, to send a text, to check your Facebook feed, and so on and so forth, not only do we stop issuing you rewards points, we actually take some points away. So it's a carrot, not the stick approach, but we certainly want to disincentivize any distracted driving behavior. The net effect of all of this is that drivers accumulate these Tassel points over time, and they can redeem them for all of these great free products and services provided by our merchant partners all around the country. These are companies like you'll see on the screen right in the middle. Shake Shack offers up a free milkshake, Urban Outfitters, Bomba Socks, my personal favorite because I have a sweet tooth, Insomnia Cookies, Obey Fitness, and literally dozens upon dozens of other brands all around the country that are fundamentally motivated in making distracted driving a habit of the past. So effectively, we, on top of that, overlay some really exciting gamification to really replace a dangerous behavior with what we believe and what we've proven has been a far more rewarding and addictive behavior. And so with that, rather than me tell you more about it, let me show you a quick product video. Welcome to This App Saves Lives. This App Saves Lives is a mobile app that provides rewards points for time spent driving without using your phone. For each minute driven without using your phone, you earn rewards points which are redeemable for amazing gifts from your favorite brands. Whether it's food, drinks, clothing, or electronics, online or in a physical store, you'll earn great rewards by being a superhero and choosing not to drive distracted.
Never before has earning free rewards while also making the world a safer place been so easy, fun, and delicious. I know where I'm going. Did I mention that driving safe is so incredibly delicious?
All right, let me jump back to my presentation. All right. Hopefully that was enjoyable for you. So some of the
Hi, I'm Anthony Loss.
excuse me.
And I'm Jules McLaughlin.
We're auto running to our next product video. Some of our proud partners include companies, as I mentioned, like Insomnia Cookies, Bomba, Shake Shack, Urban Outfitters. Here in Philadelphia, we've got a number of great brands: Philadelphia Runner, Poppy Flowers, Obey Fitness, Scrub Daddy, as well as, literally, as I mentioned, dozens of brands all around the country tailored towards providing unique rewards and exciting incentives, regardless of where you are in the world and what kind of brands really motivate and excite you. So let me just pause here and say much of what we've spoken about over the last 5 minutes or so is very much focused on the consumer. But in the last year, we really started working with both insurance companies as well as employers. And I'll speak briefly to the value propositions for both insurance companies and employers, but I want to point out that Tassel works nicely with employers who have either a fleet of drivers on the road. Think about your Amazons, your UPSs, your Papa John's pizza delivery companies, and everyone in between. but it also works for companies that simply care about protecting their most precious assets, or they want to provide their employees with an exciting employee perk. And so the way I would think about Tassel is both risk mitigation and risk reduction, but also a really nice engagement mechanism, providing companies with an opportunity to engage with their employees and their customers in a non-transactional manner throughout the relationship lifecycle. So some of the benefits for insurance companies, and we can talk more about in the Q&A, also some value propositions for employers as well, is the opportunity to partner with Tassel and offer customers discounts based upon their safe driving behavior. There's also an opportunity for insurance companies to acquire new customers across our own network of drivers all around the country. And we are US focused today, but we do have users overseas as well. Utilizing our data to better understand consumer driving behavior, encouraging your customers to utilize Tassel to drive reductions in damages and payouts across your portfolio. As I mentioned, engaging your customers in a non-transactional manner, sponsoring your own rewards. And so companies can not only just lean on the merchant partners that we've signed up on our end, but they can actually create their own incentives, whether it's Amazon gift cards, cool company apparel, extra paid time off, and so on and so forth. We can host specific rewards from your company and have those rewards only show up for members of your company or your customer base that use Tassel. And then finally, as I mentioned, you can certainly leverage our existing brand partners to provide extra incentive to reduce undistracted driving behavior. So I hope our business and this high level overview is helpful. I hope that the value proposition that we offer, not just consumers, but insurance companies and employers, is exciting and informative, and you're starting to see opportunities for Tassel to work directly with you and your companies. I hope everything today kind of resonates really strongly with you. And I'm going to stop here. After today's presentation, feel free to reach out to me directly or to Kevin as well. For attending today, we're providing everyone with 500 Tassel points, which is being sponsored by KMRD. So you can certainly thank them. That will kickstart your rewards earning effort so you can start demoing the app and experiencing the product for yourselves. And so with that, I'm going to stop. We'll open it up to Q&A and we'll go from there.
Okay, great. Thanks, Ryan. And I should add that at KMRD, we're always looking for a better way, a more creative way to make people safer, to provide a better risk management experience. And we just felt like this innovation that Ryan and his team have created was both fun and effective in managing the way people drive. And so I'm hopeful that you come away with that idea, that sensibility, so that you'll put it in play as well. So I have void of some additional questions, which we'll get to. I have a couple of questions for Ryan that I want to walk through, and I think these are probably going to be questions that many have and perhaps aren't thinking about, or don't want to write down. So let me just go through them. So Ryan, what evidence do you have that Tassel works, that it really does what it's supposed to do?
So we're a very data-oriented company. We care very much about proving that the combination of rewards and some lightweight gamification really motivates safe driving behavior. And our goal at the outset was to say, okay, that visceral urge to pick up your phone when you're behind the wheel, it's an addictive behavior. And so you need to prove that the combination of rewards and gamification can replace that behavior with another behavior, which is the joy and the excitement that comes with earning these great rewards, but also seeing your own safe driving performance improve over time. And Kevin and I were laughing before the webinar. He's already he's earned certain badges based upon his safe driving behavior. And so there are many members in our community that are not purely rewards motivated, but they just like to see their driving behavior improve. And so what we can do as a company, and what we've done, which is very exciting, is we can look at users at the outset, a cohort of users, and look at their safe driving behavior, look at their percentage of time driven distracted versus undistracted, and then track that cohort over time and say, okay, can we show improvements in safe driving behavior? And the exciting news is we can. we can show that users that come in at a certain percentage of time driven distracted fundamentally improve over time. And that value proposition is so critical to our business. And so we're already starting to be able to associate our impact around the country to reductions in accidents, reductions in injuries, and soon reductions in distracted driving related deaths.
Good. No, that's great. And I guess everybody probably has some anecdotal story. My wife and I were out a couple nights ago out to dinner and just watched a guy in front of us weave sort of across the lane, and it was one of those head down sort of experiences. And I said, he's texting. And as we pulled up to a stop sign that he barely recognized next to him, that's exactly what it was. He had his head down and he had his phone and he was working it. And it was sort of very obvious, but it's the subtle ones that are also concerning. So no, I appreciate the fact that you guys are data driven and you'll be able to document and show that experience. So how do you work with insurance companies now?
So in a couple of different manners. First and foremost, insurance companies can partner with us to encourage their customers to utilize Tassel. And then we provide the insurance company with information on which members of their customer base are using Tassel. And then they provide their customers with discounts at each policy renewal period. That's one angle. The other thing is many insurance companies are interested in acquiring customers through our own platform of drivers. And so, rather than spending $500, $600, $700, $800 to acquire an individual for your automotive policy, for your life insurance policy, for your homeowners, and so on and so forth, you can do so far more effectively and cost and cheaper, if you will, utilizing our own base of customers. And then candidly, every insurance company has different models, different angles, different value propositions. And so we're still, exploring a number of different ways that fit outside of those two models to engage with insurance companies who obviously stand to benefit quite substantially when you reduce the incidences of distracted driving.
Yeah, no, for sure. And I think, the folks that are on the webinar from KMRD know that we've been talking about the increase in business auto premiums for some time now, and the number one driver of premium is loss experience. And the aggregated data across the country would suggest that distracted driving is a huge, to your point, is a huge reason for loss experience, which then drives premium. So you can sort of run right back up the ladder and understand it.
Definitely.
So how about if you're not with an insurance carrier? How about if you just, you've got an employer on the phone here, you've got an accountant here who partners with and serves a client. What about employers who aren't insurance companies? How would you go about working with them?
Yes, so we work with employers all day, every day, and the nature of their interest in Tassel varies. Some of these employers are companies with fleets of drivers on the road, and so clear liability concern. If one of their drivers, God forbid, were to get involved in a distracted driving related accident. This also works for companies with independent contractors as drivers. Think of the Ubers and the Lyfts, DoorDashes of the world. That's one type of company we work with. The other are companies that, as I mentioned during the presentation, they're known as great places to work for. They care about the safety of their employees. They want to protect their most precious assets long before and long after they come in and out of the office. And as a part of that, we work with those employers as providing Tassel as an employee perk, and all of the employees get rallied around a safe driving initiative where, the employee in the month of August that earns the most safe driving points or the highest percentage of time driven undistracted, not only earns the prizes and the rewards that we have on our platform, but they'll earn the sponsored rewards from their company, a $500 Amazon gift card. As I mentioned, extra paid time off, recognition in an internal newsletter. It really kind of runs the gamut, whatever rewards the company wants to sponsor. But it's a nice way to engage with your employees, offer this as an employee perk, but also to protect them.
Yeah, no, great. And some really good creative ideas there on how to integrate this into a benefits platform and use it for the benefit of the employees. So just as we sort of come out of this COVID issue, how has COVID impacted distracted driving? What's your sense of that?
That's a great question. I'm terrified. I'll be honest. It's the perfect storm. And so there was a really interesting study published a couple of months ago, which found that our rates of technology addiction today versus pre-COVID, it's through the roof. It's never before been so high. We've all been at home addicted to our own technology. And so now that the dust is settling on COVID and people are emerging and getting back out there on the roads, we're all doing so more addicted to our technology now than ever. And the data shows this. And then on top of that, you're seeing a total migration in travel preferences. Rather than take public transportation, folks are opting for the relative safety of their cars, their automobiles, their private vehicles. And so we're seeing this, and you see that in the data of automotive sales, used car, new car sales. You're seeing more people on the roads in their cars, more addicted to technology now than ever. And so it's kind of the perfect storm for distracted driving. And so if anything, it makes our mission and everyone on this conference today's mission even more imperative to reduce that distracted driving behavior, which by the way has now been proven, unfortunately, to be more dangerous than driving drunk.
Wow. Okay. Yeah, that's pretty sobering. So how do people that are listening, how do they get in touch with you to explore a working relationship?
So my email was at the end of the presentation. They can obviously contact me directly, ryan.frankel@thisappsaveslives or team@thisappsaveslives. Kevin, they've obviously got your contact information as well. And as a partner of ours, they can obviously work through you. But definitely get in touch with us as well so we can get you those bonus points so you can start earning those exciting rewards as well.
Everybody loves a milkshake. And so what's been your experience in providing a platform to encourage participation? Has it been well? Has it worked well, or what are the challenges?
Engagement is great. The value proposition for consumers, for employers, for insurance companies alike is just clear. It's evident. Whether you're someone who likes earning rewards or you just aren't tired of, to use your example, Kevin, of driving on the highway at 60 miles an hour and looking over and seeing that person with their head down on their phone. I mean, we all are football fans here in Philadelphia. If you look down at your phone to just compose a text message, more than 5 seconds would have passed even before you began writing that message. And so if you're moving it on the highway, that 5 seconds is the equivalent of driving the length of a football field blind. So people get it. The value proposition resonates. The challenge for us as a company, and I would say the challenge for everyone on this webinar is creating that brand awareness. Getting consumers, getting employers aware that there's a product out there that rather than use technology of the past, which blocks your ability to take certain actions. Nobody likes to be told what not to do. But there's this platform out there that says, hey, we're going to flip that on its head and we're going to give you these rewards. We're going to build in some exciting gamification if you choose not to take that dangerous behavior. And so for us, it's the challenge, of course, is getting the word out there, but engagement amongst those participants is phenomenal.
Yeah, great. And so the final question before we get to the Q&A questions, are there any issues with the app? I mean, it was easy for me to download it. I have an iPhone. It was, sort of just go to the App Store and I found it. I saw that I had to do some location activity with it, which sort of logically makes sense. But walk through any issues that somebody may have risen to you as a issue with the app.
No major issues. You do have to, enable location-based tracking so that we can, know how far you've driven and your time spent driving undistracted. At the outset, we were picked up by the New York Times. And so we literally overnight went from this, small business in the US to a company with users in almost every single country. And so we didn't have rewards available in every single country. And so we got some frustration from our users. Hey, I'm driving in Saudi Arabia and you guys don't have any rewards available to me, or even in the US. I live in the middle of Iowa and I don't see any brick and mortar stores. So we quickly had to move towards kind of an online model as well, where not only did we have brick and mortar merchants, but also e-commerce partners as well. And candidly, it's something that we're continuing to improve upon. We're adding new merchants each and every day. But probably the biggest complaint for those that are rewards motivated, at least, are, hey, I live in an area where I don't see a ton of merchant partners.
Got it. Okay, but again, with development, we'll get there.
Oh, absolutely. And we've been able to bridge that gap with employers as well, because most of the employer partners will also sponsor their own rewards. And so regardless of where you live, you're still competing and earning points specific to the rewards sponsored by that employer or that insurance company.
Okay. So a couple questions here in the Q&A. What's the referral code to use for KMRD? Do we have that up there?
We do. It's KMRD and then EMPL for employee.
Okay.
So KMRD, E is in Edward, M is in Mary, P is in Paul, L is in love, one word. And so when you download this App Saves Lives or Tassel from the App Store and you go to create your account, there's going to be a field in there that says referral ID. This is where you put that referral ID. And by the way, this is where the employers will create a unique referral code for each company that they can provide to their employees. We'll create a unique referral code for each insurance partner that they can provide to their customers. And that's how we really track users back to a given partner of ours.
Okay, great. And then next question is, how does the technology differentiate from driver from passenger?
Users mark themselves as such. So there's a passenger mode that enables our customers to mark themselves as a passenger. That way they're not unfairly penalized. Yes, Kevin's
holding it up there. It's got a little bubble there that says I'm a passenger.
Yep. So you mark yourself as a passenger, and in that case, you're not unfairly penalized for rightfully using your phone when you're sitting in the passenger seat or in the back of a bus.
Okay, great. Little like Waze, I think, if I've used Waze in the past, and you're with somebody and you want to be the co-pilot and get the directions in, you have to sort of say I'm a passenger because they won't let you do it otherwise. So it's spring-loaded to go that way. Great. No, appreciate that. Is Tassel available for Android devices? And if not, do you have an expectation of when it will be?
It's not currently available on Android. It will be likely this summer.
Okay, so sometime this summer, those that have not swallowed the Apple Kool-Aid will have access to this app and put it to good use.
Good question, Colin. Thank you for that.
Yeah. The app, Lisa Simon, is This App Saves Lives. Tassel, T-A-S-L. So that was the question. Another question. Can the app tell if you check the phone while stopped at a red light?
So we would much rather folks check their phone when stopped at a red light than when they're actually in a moving vehicle. But we built in a little bit of a cushion such that we still want to disincentivize that behavior. And so, Steve, it's a great question. If you do check your phone when you are stopped at a red light, we do register that as a distraction. Moving forward, we may reevaluate that from an algorithm perspective, but we still want to disincentivize that behavior. So currently it would be viewed as a distraction.
Yep. Okay. Well, and I think, again, I'm speaking from my own personal experience that it's, I have reached for my phone on my console a number of times, but after I downloaded this app, I've actually sort of caught myself in mid-grab for my phone and put it back down and just have come to the conclusion that whatever it is can wait. And that's really what's mattered to me.
Yeah, and in a future iteration, we'll have a little shock mode where you'll get zapped. If you go to reach your phone, we'll zap you through your phone.
Tassel equals taser.
Exactly. We'll partner with Taser International. And we didn't. This isn't one of the questions, but what's interesting is, to your point, many folks will actually load the app when they get behind the wheel to drive, because there's this nice little blue screen that says, "Keep up the great work. You're driving safely." But if you forget to do that, that doesn't matter because the app runs in the background as long as you're moving above a certain rate of speed. And so we wanted to remove that friction that is having to remember to open the app each time you get behind the wheel.
Okay. And so that you may have just answered the next question was, will it work when I'm out on my bike? What's the threshold for speed?
Well, Steve, how fast are you? It's a great question. If you move,
He's not as fast as he thinks he is. I'm just gonna put that out there.
if you move above a speed of 10 miles an hour, the app automatically runs. So if you're biking at a normal pace, you'll earn points as a cyclist, and that's great, by the way. I'm a cyclist, I'm a triathlete, and I get frustrated seeing cyclists checking their phone when they're out riding as well. And so we want to incentivize our cyclists, and we work, by the way, with cycling organizations and charities as well. So it absolutely works when you're a cyclist. If you're a really fast runner, which I'm not, if you're running 10 miles an hour, a 6-minute mile, technically you could earn points as well, although I haven't seen that use case happen all that often.
Got it. Okay. We're at 33 minutes, and I don't want to. I want to be sensitive to everyone's time. It looks like we've still got the bulk of the folks listening. I don't see any additional questions coming in, but I want to make sure I offer the opportunity if someone's got a last minute. And of course, if there are additional questions, again, we've recorded this. You have Ryan's information. If you look at the recording, you can certainly reach out to anybody at KMRD, and we will put you in touch with Ryan. As an organization, I think that it's a great employee benefit that is innovative. It's fun, it's rewarding, and it's something that will help encourage the safety aspect of the behavior. And there, Ryan's just put up his email address and phone number. So with that, I don't want to take anybody else's additional time other than to say to Ryan, thank you very much for one, creating this innovation, and two, for sharing it with us today. I think that save one, and you've done great things. So we really appreciate you joining us this morning.
And I'll just say, thank you as well. We as a company very much appreciate the opportunity to share our mission-driven business, share the impact that we're having, not only with KMRD, but all of its great supporters and stakeholders and partners. And so I very much look forward to working with everyone. And again, feel free to reach out to me directly or reach out through Kevin. I'm happy to answer any follow-up questions and also cultivate some opportunities to work together. So
Great. Thank you. And so in the final words of a sage that I know, everybody go back to work. So have a great day, everyone. Thank you again for attending. See you.